Hi, everybody. In this session, we're going to cover an extremely important topic. Sometimes some of you may find it a little bit basic, but I want to be sure that everybody's up to speed on this because the skills we're going to cover today are really essential. Everybody needs to do them, and you'll be doing them hundreds and thousands of times over the next few years. And basically, what we're going to talk about is how you can manage all the thousands and thousands of files on your computer. Now, files are important because on a PC, all of the data is stored in what? They're stored in files. And everything, no matter what you have on your computer, whether it's program files, document files, okay, all this kind of information are all stored in a particular kind of file. There's nothing on your computer that's not in the file. So now, how many files do you have on your computer? Well, there's well over 100,000. On mine, I counted it up once, I had like 300,000. So you can easily get a lot more. And it's real difficult sometimes just keeping track of all those files and putting them in a good place. Now, we can organize the files by putting files into what? We put them into folders. And today we're going to cover 7 skills, basically how you can create folders, how you can rename files and folders, how you can copy files and folders, how you can move them around, and how you can create compressed folders, and how you can search for files, which is very important when you have thousands of them, and how you can delete files and folders. Okay, now there's an app that we're going to use, a certain tool which will make our job a lot easier, and that is File Explorer. In the old days, a couple of years ago, we called it Windows Explorer. It's the same exact thing. Microsoft, for some reason, just changed the name. But in any case, it's the same exact thing, File Explorer. And just to review, all data is stored in what? It's stored in files. Okay, now each file has a name, okay, and in each folder, the names have to be unique. And for example, a typical name could be this. And you notice at the end there's an extension there, the file name extension. And every file in Windows has that. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes it's hidden away to avoid confusing the beginner users, but it's there. And it does actually serve a purpose. Okay, why do we have that? Basically, because it tells Windows what app to use with the file. Now, on the Macintosh, we don't have that. We can put them in if we want to, but on the Macintosh, the operating system doesn't need it. It can somehow sense what app to use with each of the files. But in Windows, we have that file name extension, which is very important. It tells us what kind of file it is. And there are all sorts of different file types. For example, .docx, okay, is basically a document. .xlsx, which is basically a spreadsheet for Excel. And then we have one for PowerPoint, PPTX. And TXT is just a simple text file. JPEG is, as they probably know, it's just a standard picture format file. And the PDF is for documents, a standard format for documents. PNG is a more advanced format for pictures, and GIF is another format that's an older format. The MP3, you probably know, it's for songs and music. And MPEG-4 is, if you look at the name MP, it stands for Motion Picture, the Motion Picture Experimental Group, which is a video format. And AVI, that V, okay, again, that V is a video file. And another example here, that V in the WMV, another format for videos. Okay, and try to know all of these different formats. They're very important. All the files are stored on what? They're stored on disks, and the most important disk is the hard disk, but we have many other disks on our system sometimes. Okay, sometimes we'll have USB flash memory disk or solid state disk, and maybe a network drive, and sometimes a optical disk in the older systems. And each of these disks in Windows have a letter names. The hard drive has C, okay, the CD or DVD can be D, or in the USB, all these other drives have different names. They usually go along with the alphabet. In the old days, we had drives A and B. Those were floppy drives, which we don't use anymore because they're way, way too small. But C drive is the most important one. That's basically the main hard drive of our systems. Okay, we organize files into folders. and we can put folders inside other folders. We have subfolders inside folders, and you can have folders inside folders inside folders. And you can, pretty soon you end up with a structure which looks like this. It's called an upside down tree or inverted tree structure. And basically you can see, once you get really complicated, you have folders inside folders inside folders inside folders. It gets really difficult to find anything, but fortunately, there's a really nice tool for finding something when you want to do that. And we'll go over that a little bit later. In this session, we're going to do a lot of hands-on work, and it's kind of difficult to do that in a virtual class session or online class that we're doing right now. So to make it easier, we're going to take advantage of a tool in Windows called Virtual Desktops. And those of you using Macintosh, don't worry, there's a similar tool for you as well. So we'll go over both of those in the next video.